is the house of Allah above the house of Allah in Makkah, above the Kaaba. Jibreel alayhi salam said the Malaika who come to Baytul Ma'mur, they come and make tawaf once and they never come back again till the day of judgment. Every tawaf is a new malaka, new farishta. Allah has given you and us the ability and the ijazah to go to His house in Makkah any number of times you want. बार बार आओ अल्लाह के घर में जितने बार आते हो. अल्लाह ने रोक नहीं लगाई. Allah did not say come only once, 10, 5, 10, 10, no. But for the malaika there is a hukuk. So Allah needs you and me to pray. Whose need is it? Worship is whose need? Allah's need or our need? You might say even I don't need to pray. If you say I don't need to pray, then ask yourself. Ask yourself the same question. Will you die or will you not die? And then what will you say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you stand before Him? Will you say I did not pray because I did not think I needed to pray? I don't think you deserve to be worshipped. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So what is Allah saying? First criterion internally of judging whether I am a Muslim or not, whether I am a Mu'min or not. What is the first criterion? إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. When the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes before them, their hearts shiver with the majesty and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. So the first question to ask is, whenever I hear the name of Allah, to make ruju inside yourself and say, what is happening to my heart? Is anything happening to my heart? There is a statement narrated, attributed to Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha, where she said the first bid'ah of this ummah was to take the name of Allah without the majesty of Allah in the heart. Because when we hear the stories of the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajmain, when we hear the seerah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the famous story of Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, when he would hear the adhan, when the muezzin said Allahu Akbar, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu's face would become white. He would be as if in a state of fear. Somebody asked him, why is this condition? What's happened to you? Something wrong with you? He said, did you not hear just now what happened here? Just now did you not hear the man saying Allahu Akbar? Subhanallah, I have been reminded Allahu Akbar. Nothing should happen to me. Allahu Akbar, nothing should happen to me. This connection, my brothers and elders, with due respect to you, this is the connection that we have lost. Allah is a word. Na'udhu billah, Allah is a word. When we hear Allah, nothing happens inside. Ask yourself, when somebody takes your father's name, what happens to you inside? When somebody takes your child's name, what happens to you inside? When somebody takes your enemy's name, what happens to you inside? When somebody takes your boss's name, what happens to you inside? When somebody takes your wife's name, what happens to you inside? When somebody takes Allah's name, what happens to you inside? Subhanallah, Ajib. For all the others except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something happens to you inside. You like it, you don't like it, you love it, you don't love it. Some effect is there on you. But when somebody says Allah, nothing. إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. And then what did Allah say? وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when the ayat of Allah are recited before them, when they see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their iman increases. So look inside yourself and say, what is happening to my iman? When I hear the ayat of the Quran, what happens to my iman when I read the Quran? What happens to my iman when I hear the Imam reciting the Quran? Does anything happen or not? That is why the Muslim today is in this world living in fear. That is why the Muslim today is living in this world beating around from pillar to post. because his connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lost. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduced himself, and before he introduced himself, he talked about the majesty of his kalam. What did Allah say? لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. Allah said, if this kalam were to be sent down on a mountain, the mountain would disintegrate into dust, would humble itself. And Allah said, we give these examples to people so that they will think. SubhanAllah, Allah has given us intelligence for what? Has Allah given us a brain to grow our hair as manure in the head? Or has Allah given us the brain for some purpose? Today we see people with the biggest intelligence use that intelligence to make kufr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then isn't somebody with a low intelligence better than you, because without understanding he still makes sujood to Allah? Whereas you with your understanding has taken you from Allah to Shaitan. Who is better? Ask yourself what happens to you, because the kalam which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, what is Allah saying about the kalam? He is saying, this kalam of mine, if it was sent on a mountain, the mountain would disintegrate into dust. So ask our hearts and say, what about my heart when this kalam is, I hear this kalam, nothing happens to my heart, subhanallah. What kind of heart do we have? So what does Allah say after that? Allah introduces himself. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر. سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. What is happening to the heart? This is the kalam of Allah.